Hey everyone, Dave here, back in the AI kitchen, ready to make something fun. As always, let's see if I can find a kniff. It's kind of a long kniff, but that'll work. So this one starts off with onions. Onions are the key ingredient here, and hopefully this works out. I just messed up. I don't know what I was doing. Anyways, on this channel, don't be surprised when you see me make some mistakes, because I'm not a professional cook. I don't claim to be a professional cook. I'm just a normal guy in his kitchen trying to make some food for the family. And every now and then I mess up. And I imagine that's probably relatable. I think a lot of you probably out there have cooked and messed something up before. I think everyone does it. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to cut up some onion rings. That's our goal right now, is some onion rings. And I think, not really something I do very often, but I think if we peel it and then just cut like this, technically it should be like on a stable surface, which it's not. Is this an onion ring? Let's see what happens. Yeah, that works. We did it, guys. We cut an onion ring. So here's what we're making today. I guess I shouldn't bury the lead. What we're making today is stuffed cheeseburger onion rings. So yes, you heard that right. It's not a cheeseburger stuffed with onion rings. It's an onion ring stuffed with cheeseburger. Eh? Pretty fun, different idea, exciting. How excited are you? Comment, let me know. I guess if I go like this, I'll get more onion rings. I don't want to cut my fingers. There we go. I don't know how many I need. That's probably enough, right? The mistake I made is I was trying to peel this first onion and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna cut off this piece of skin, and obviously that would break every single onion ring if I did that. So if you want to follow along, make some onion rings. How do you separate them? Oh, I see. Oh, dang it, I just broke all those. How important is it that they're not broken? I don't know, because I got a lot that are slightly broken. So the idea is, guys, we're gonna stuff the cheeseburger into the onion ring and then deep fry it. Meaning that the onion ring is going to basically be like a self-contained burger, which sounds insane, but awesome. Insane in a good way. Insane in the membrane, I think, as Linkin Park would call it. Actually, I don't know if that was Linkin Park. You get the point. Oh, I've been pushing them the wrong way. If you push them the right way, they just fall out. I'm a genius. All right, I've got some onion rings, right? That should be good. Is that enough? I just realized I might be putting the cart before the horse. I actually need chopped bacon, so I'm gonna have to cook up some bacon. It makes sense that you'd want, you know, bacon in your bacon cheeseburger onion rings. So I'm gonna go over to the stovetop and just throw a half a pound of bacon in. I think it only calls for like a half a cup of chopped bacon, so I'll make like a half a pound and I'll have a little left over that I can just eat if I want to. But yeah, I feel like if we can pull this off, it has amazing potential to be super delicious. Our bacon's back there cooking. Now we need to chop up some pickles to go in this as well. I mean, just imagine how good these are gonna be if it works. Like I said though, my big concern is execution. Can I actually pull this off, not have them just be a big mess? If these work though, this is gonna be like the next state fair famous food, right? Or does it already exist? I couldn't find it, but it could already exist. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff you get at a state fair, you know, where they're like taking Krispy Kreme donuts and making the Krispy Kreme burger. Why not a cheeseburger onion ring? It just makes sense. Although sometimes it may sound like it makes sense and then it ends up not making sense. Like I did the mac and cheese stuffed meatballs on the channel, and that one didn't make much sense. But it was a fun video, nonetheless. We need a quarter cup of finely chopped pickles. All right, so quarter cup finely chopped pickles, set that aside with our onions. So we want to combine all the ingredients into a large bowl. So we've got a bowl here that we're gonna put our ground beef in. And our bacon is pretty much done, so I'm gonna start taking that off. There's some pieces that still are working, not a very even cook, but we are gonna need these, and we're gonna need to combine them with the beef that we just put in the bowl. So I'm gonna take off some of the bacon. That should be enough right there. We need a half a cup worth. I don't know, I'll wait for the rest to cook though. I'm gonna move this camera back over. All right, so we're gonna chop up our bacon and add it to the mix. All right, so chopping up the bacon we cooked. This is probably too much bacon. So it's actually only calling for a quarter cup of bacon, which I think we did fine on. Yeah, there we go. Quarter cup of bacon, and that's gonna go in with our ground beef into the bowl. We can now add our pickles into this as well, and 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So basically you got like the whole bacon cheeseburger in this mix. 1 cup of shredded cheddar goes in there. I thought I might be a little short, so I have this backup thing of cheese. Add a little scotch of that. That should be about a cup. And now we want to take our mustard and we want to do 1 tablespoon of that, like so. Pretty simple, guys. We're just adding a bunch of stuff to a bowl. Not that exciting, but it's part of the recipe. Got to do it. 1 tablespoon of ketchup. It's literally a whole cheeseburger. You know, it almost could be like a meatloaf in a sense. If they add breadcrumbs, then, well, I guess the breadcrumbs will be the breading for the onion rings. Teaspoon of garlic powder, and then a teaspoon of onion powder goes into the mix, like so. And then a little salt and pepper to taste. There's some salt, and we'll add some pepper. And then we just want to mix this, honestly, like a meatloaf, and combine it all together. And this is going to be our filling that goes into the onion rings. Seems like a healthy Labor Day snack. Memorial Day, 4th of July, you name it. Just breakfast, if you're just looking for a breakfast. It's a great breakfast idea. Now is probably about the time I would start thinking about heating up the oil that we're gonna fry it in. Let me set this aside. So far, so good with these onion rings. We've got our beef mixture, we've got our onions. We're now gonna get like a tray or a plate or a platter, whatever you wanna do. And we're gonna try to cook some, or try to prep some. We'll take the onion rings, set them down. I don't know, let me do a couple of them at once. I feel like that'll make my life easier. How many? I don't know. How many people are coming over for dinner, folks? How many people want a little snacky snack? Snackety snack. Don't talk back. All right, so I'm gonna do like, I don't know. Wait, this one's a ring within a ring, right? There we go. I've got 6 here. We're gonna take the beef and we're literally gonna squish it down inside the onion ring. And you're supposed to take a second onion ring, something like this, supposedly. Stuff that down in there too, and it's supposed to help with the structural integrity. So it's like a double onion ring. Push that down. You want that all to stay together. And there we go. There's the first one. Now we want to do it again, and so on and so forth. And this is, you know, an interesting idea. This one broke. That's not good. That's not ideal. Can we still make it work even though it's broken? Maybe. Maybe, baby. Probably not. But maybe by adding that additional structural integrity inside, maybe. Oh, let's do it like this. Ah, that ain't working. That one's dead. He's dead, Jim. All right, let's try this one instead. And then take another onion and put it inside. I don't like how these onions are kind of like turned. I think that's messing me up here. Here, get inside there, beef. There. Okay, that worked. You know, rinse and repeat, folks. Rinse and repeat. Just keep doing the same thing. It doesn't need to be a huge onion ring. It can be a small one. Whatever size onions you found, just compress them in. And it does say that the middle onion ring is optional. Like, you don't need to have the 2 onions. I feel like I kind of like the idea of them because it adds that little extra crisp inside. But the question is, can I make it work consistently? With a nice straight onion ring, it works like that pretty good. So let's try that with all of them. There we go. Boom, shakalaka. Push them down. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's do a couple more and then we'll be back after I finish. All right, so I've used like all my beef at this point. Definitely way too many onions sliced up. I guess you could just make standard onion rings with the rest of your onions if you want. All right, so I've got all of the beef used up. I have set my oil to heating up so that we can actually fry these puppies. And now I'm gonna crack 2 eggs into a bowl. Try not to get any shells in it. And then we will, you know, scramble the eggs basically. I'm gonna take a couple of paper plates because we're gonna have like a breading assembly line here. We're gonna take some breadcrumbs. It says 2 cups, I don't know, doesn't really matter. Just some breadcrumbs onto a plate and then some flour on another plate. All right, so order of operations is actually flour, eggs, breadcrumbs. That's gonna be our assembly line here. And then I guess we need a plate to put them on at the end. So just take one, put it in the flour, like so. Try not to let it all fall out. So far, so good. Then the egg, like so. And then finally, we do the breadcrumbs. All right, so this isn't the best plate. It's not big enough, and so the breadcrumbs are getting everywhere. But look, here's a completed one. And let's see, I'll switch it up for you so you can see the breadcrumb side, because that seemed like the harder side anyways. Flour, again, we do the flour on this one. Then we take it and we drop it in the egg, flip it over a few times, make sure the breadcrumbs can stick, and then the breadcrumbs. Again, flip it over. Maybe do a little roly-poly on it, like so. And there we go. There we've got our breading on our onion ring. So now we have 2. And that's what they look like. Pretty fancy, pretty simple, pretty easy. We're gonna run out of breadcrumbs, so we are gonna have to use a lot of it. 2 cups is probably correct in the estimation from ChatGPT. So I'll do that. I'm gonna do them all. That's not that exciting to watch me do them all, so I'm gonna come back once they're all done and we'll get to cooking. All right, guys, so I got them all done. Near the end, I was running out of egg, and so they didn't adhere quite as well like on this one. But overall, we've got them all. We're gonna head over to the stove and we're gonna fry these puppies up. All right, so I forgot to turn on this close camera for the first batch, but it went pretty well. The oil was a little too hot, like closer to 400. Now the oil's cooled down, this batch should cook a little better, so I'm gonna add this in, and this will be our second and last batch. But the first ones did seem to cook through, and they look pretty good. And now we'll fry up these other ones, and then we're gonna try them. Dip them in some ketchup, maybe? That'd be good. While we wait for those to fry up, I'll show you these. Pretty good. I'm just kind of checking the internal temp on these. I want the beef to be fully cooked so we don't get any E. coli. All right, so our cheeseburger stuffed onion rings are done. That's what they look like. Both batches ended up looking pretty similar. I'm gonna try one. I did use my little meat thermometer to kind of check to make sure that the temp of the meat was at least like, 140 to 160. I feel like that's probably hot enough. Technically, it's supposed to be 160, I think, but if you order your burger medium rare, it's not gonna be 160. So I'm gonna try a bite of one just as is and see how it tastes. I hope this is good. That is good. Hold on, let's dip in some ketchup. That's actually good. Way better than the stuffed meatball mac and cheese thing we made the other day. That's delicious. This should be an appetizer at every pub that you go to. It's really good. It's like a mini cheeseburger. Okay, so those actually worked out really well. That's very delicious. Let's see if we can't get a cross section on it. Put it on a plate. We're gonna cut it in half and see if we can look at the inside, see how the beef is, if it looks nice and cooked. It should, it tastes perfect. So go ahead and cut it. You hear that crisp? Very crispy. There we go. Cheeseburger stuffed onion ring. See the onion layers on the outside, then the meat inside. Yeah, that's pretty good, folks. I'm a fan. This was actually pretty easy too, wasn't hard. Even stuffing the meat into the onion rings is way easier than I expected because they've got that natural curve that kind of embraces the meat, as it were. Stuff it down hard and then it's easy to bread it and fry it. And these are guaranteed to impress at your next like tailgating party or anything like that. People are gonna be like, holy crap, what are these? They're so good. Oh, I said crap, that was a little on the edge, guys, sorry. I'm that excited, they're that good. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy this, make sure you subscribe. Check out a bunch of my other videos because they're awesome too. Yeah, of course, that's my opinion. Yeah, make sure you click the like button, the subscribe button, and definitely try these. Let me know how you like them. Comment down below. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.